Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for March of 2021. If this is your sun sign and you missed your birthday reading this year, don't worry, it's not too late. You can still get a jump on your year by getting a solar return birthday reading, which can tell you all about what the nature of this year is meant to be so that you can get into alignment with its purposes. And that's really what empowers you to get the most out of a year. So you'll find the link to help you get that solar return birthday reading in the YouTube description below. So Saturn has been really busy in your sign. As you know, it's moved into Aquarius. It's going to be there all year and next year too. And that means your first house, the house of identity. And so you're probably feeling like you've got to step up to the plate right now. And it may be feeling really personal. You may be feeling that others are judging you or criticizing you, or like you're holding yourself to a higher standard too. And if you have late Aquarius rising instead of early Aquarius, then a lot of those things, you would be experiencing Saturn in the 12th house instead of the first house. And therefore, a lot of those feelings would be more like free-floating anxiety, free-floating judgment, maybe borderline paranoia, or some fears that are hard to pin down. And that is going to be going on this year. And so you're going to have to get a handle on it and discipline yourself to be able to handle it and to convert that fear into useful, concrete actions. So that's really a big watchword for you this year. And if you want to find out more about Saturn in Aquarius, we made a video about it and we put it into our 2021 news playlist on our Pandora Astrology YouTube channel, and I recommend you check that out. So we've got news for you about Mars, Mercury, and Venus, and also a couple of moons. Hey, Julia, you want to start this off with Mars for Aquarius?
Well, sure. Hi there, Aquarius. So Mars, that planet of action and activity, it begins the very, very beginning of the month in Taurus, but it quickly goes into Gemini on March 3rd. So if you want to hear about Mars in Taurus, which corresponds with your fourth house of family and home, I suggest you check out our last month's videos where we cover that in depth. But for the majority of March, it's going to be in your fifth house. This is the house of children. This is the house of fun, games, and creativity too. And wherever we have Mars is where we put a lot of our drive, a lot of our energy, but where we can also run into conflict as well. So you'll probably be feeling pretty stir crazy in March, wanting to kind of go out and enjoy your usual fun activities, hobbies, or games that you like to play. So if you have a lot of work that you have to do or a lot of professional responsibilities, it could kind of drive you a little nutty right now. And if you do have any children, then this might be a little bit of a conflict prone time with them. Good thing it doesn't last for so long. And then Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, starts the month in Aquarius, which is your first house of self. And even though the Mercury retrograde cycle is over, we're still reverberating from it a bit. And on March 6th, Mercury is finally going to be going back to its regular speed. So that's probably when the whole retrograde cycle is going to be considered fully complete. And if you'd like to hear more about that, we'll definitely check out our February videos again. But Mercury is going to spend the first half of the month in your first house of self, and then on the 15th it's going to move into your second house of money. So for the first half of the month, this is a wonderful time for being very, very articulate, because Mercury is the planet of mind, and having it in your first house means that you'll be expressing yourself really well with words. It's a wonderful time for making a good impression on somebody, especially if you want to make a good intellectual impression on them as well. Then on March 15th, when Mercury moves into your second house of money and security and values, you'll be spending a lot of time thinking and strategizing about how you can either gain more security in your life. If you run a business, you might be thinking about how you could maybe expand your business to make more money, or strategizing with how you can make more money in your career in general. I guess it's good because tax season is coming up at this point, so getting money in line is a good idea. Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, starts the month in Pisces, which is, again, your second house of money. And she's going to spend about the first 3 weeks of the month in your second house. So this is adding a little bit of luck to the money and material sphere of your life in general. Wherever we have Venus is where we find pleasure. So you might acquire some new items, or maybe somebody gives you a wonderful gift that you really, really enjoy. Venus rules luxury. She rules beauty. She also rules art. So those could be areas which are affected as well. And then Venus is going to move into Aries, which is your third house, on March 21st. And then for that part, the rest of the month there, with Venus being in the third house of communication, you're going to be super, super diplomatic. So if you need to sort of smooth over any problem areas in your life, especially with words, diplomacy, that'll be a wonderful transit for it.
Yeah, despite Venus being in Aries, I think Aquarius just prefers a straight shooter
Oh,
for that
sure.
very reason when it comes to communication. So that self-same Venus is involved with both of this month's moons. And we have to go back to the 13th to find the first of these moons, which is in Pisces. You can see it right here in that ever famous second house. And so that is going to bring up, again, a lot of those financial themes of safety and security, themes related to your body and the food you put into it. Now, so I said that Venus is involved with both of these moons, which means that both of the moons, this new moon and also the full moon to come later in the month, have got really strong relationship themes built right into them. This one we're calling Dreams of Partnership because of the way that Venus conjuncts Neptune and the moon and sun all together. And then also this new moon has a square to Juno. So there's themes of committed partnership blended in here, as well as romantic partnership. So, and I would think that another theme that's a part of this in your case specifically, Aquarius, is because Juno is in the 11th house, the house of friends, and that's something that's important to you as an Aquarian, that there may be some, conflict in your life between friendship and partnership. So something to watch out for. A little bit later in the month, we have that full moon in Libra I was talking about on the 28th. And here it is. We have the sun in Aries along with Chiron, and Venus is there again, so involved. And then we have the moon here in Libra, opposite to that, but with a really lovely trine to Saturn right here, which connects back to the sun, Chiron, and Venus. So this one is very partnership oriented, partially because it is a full moon to begin with. And then it's going to bring up themes for you around communication. And the Aries planets here in the third house are going to be interested in communication that's back and forth between two people, speaking and listening. Whereas this moon, being in the 9th house of the big voice, might be interested in just kind of broadcasting, blasting what you think and feel, and not, and then it's all about finding the balance between those two. Is it more of a conversational thing where there is the back and forth, or is it more of I just wanted to blast my feelings across everybody? So that's the dilemma, and it can definitely bring conflict in your relationships, but Saturn is there to help and to bring in a sense of structure, bring in some order and some containment to those conversations. And it wouldn't be surprising if a friend or community member stepped in to help you resolve it. Or you can call on a person like that. So we have the beginning of springtime, which is really like the beginning of the whole year, because there is that strong feeling of rebirth and newness and energies rising and the beginning of the wild expansion and growth of springtime. And that happens when Aries season begins, and it's March 20th, as it usually is. And that is going to happen also in your third house, so the communication themes are even stronger for that reason. And I've been saying now for a couple of months that this spring is a really good time. The late winter and early spring this year is a really good time for starting new stuff. And the reason is because there are no outer planets retrograde right now. Next month, Pluto will go retrograde. The month after that, Saturn will. And it will increasingly become a kind of a tangled environment in which to begin new projects. So you should do it soon. You should do it quickly. And the equinox is really supporting that energy as well. So this is where I want to read to you the quote from Goethe, which you've probably heard before, but which is, I think, particularly pertinent right now because this is really the best time all year to begin the very big projects of life, like, buying something very large or moving or starting a new business. So what Goethe said was, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And so it does. And this is the time for you to initiate the conversations and the writings and the musings that will make those things happen. And I hope that you do. Well, that's all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can always find your horoscope on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, or on our website, pandoraastrology.com. And you can find the news of the month on our YouTube channel too, or on our monthly forecast at our website. And visit our website if you would like to have a session with either Julia or me, and or if you'd like to take a class. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.